everybody. Welcome to episode 170 of Cocktails in the War Room. And welcome to my war room. I am your host, Mistress Carrie. What is going on? It's Tuesday night at 8:30. And that means it is time for Cocktails in the War Room. We have done this now 170 times since March 14th of 2020. We did 80 shows in a row. And then the show became a weekly thing. When we launched the Mistress Carrie podcast in June of 2020, Cocktails in the War Room became the weekly show that it is now. So welcome to everyone in the War Room family. And if you are new to the War Room, if you're joining us for the first time, let us know in the comments that you are new to the War Room, and definitely let us know where you're joining us from so that we can welcome you properly. You can also go to the blog at mistresscarrie.com, go to the very first blog post, scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you can keep up with some of the inside jokes and glossary terms with something we affectionately call the dictionary. What's up, Kim, Monica, Jean, Travis is here, Michael's here, Shannon, Eric, Ash is here, Penny, Julia joining us, Mark, Tracy, Elsa, Michelle. So the first thing I want to do is address one of the questions that I already saw come up. People with Mistress Carrie backstage passes know that I have been laid up for the last couple of days. Hold please. We're being graced with someone's presence. Well, hello. Do you want to sit down? We brought toys for you. Sit. Good girl. You want to say hi to everyone up here? Say hi. Say hi, everyone. Hold on. What's up here? Say hi, everybody. No, get down. Sit. Good girl. Good girl. This is Wednesday for anybody new to the War Room. She's been my co-host for all 170 episodes. And she gets her own camera, which we affectionately call the Pug Cam. And by the way, Wednesday is closing in on 1,000 followers on Instagram. That is her Instagram handle, at Wednesday the Goth Pug. So if you have an IG, you definitely want to follow Wednesday because, well, she keeps up the page on her own and posts her own photos, even though she doesn't have thumbs. She's very proficient at posting her viral content, shall we say. So this is Wednesday. Say hi, Wednesday. Eric says hi. What's going on, Sean? Let's see. Brianna also says the newbies are welcome to join the Cocktails in the War Room family. There is a Facebook group that is an offshoot of the War Room where you guys hang out when I'm not around, which is wonderful. Donna says, hello, Miss Wednesday. Back up. Sit. Good girl. Oh, good girl. And then her best pal, Zero, is also joining us here in the War Room. They have play dates a lot, and Zero is trying to instruct Wednesday on how to be a better dog because Wednesday thinks she's more of a person than a dog, especially after all of the confined time we've had together because of COVID. Can you believe she's going to turn 4 in April? When COVID really kicked in, her second birthday happened. And then we had a birthday party for her. And then last year she turned 3, and now Wednesday is going to turn 4 in April, which is totally crazy. So what's up, Will? Mark says, watching you guys from the Bruins game. Hell yeah. What's going on, Bish? Let's see. Sitting here nursing a knee injury again, says Alexis. Ugh. Christina says, hello, everybody. What's up, Jen? Tammy is also joining us. She says hello to Wednesday. Brian also saying hi to Zero. She gets a little love as well. So are you being a good girl? Okay. Let's see. Zero is always Wednesday's PR agent on Instagram. Yeah, exactly. Every once in a while, Zero makes an appearance on Instagram. But do you want to say hi to everyone? Do you want to make some pug noises in the... Oh, say hi to everybody. Say hi. I wonder if Wednesday is a singer. Yeah, she is most definitely not. And now she's like, move my hair all over the place. Let's see. Will's here. Eric chiming in. Tracy. Honey Ange is joining us. What's up, Honey Ange? Is Jonathan Pughole content is for OnlyFans, says Brianna. Yeah, exactly. All right, so I wanted to fill you guys in, like I was saying before Wednesday rudely interrupted me, as she always does. If you have a Mistress Carrie backstage pass, you know that I was laid up over the weekend. So just to recap a little bit, The reason why I have two different size feet is I had a problem with my back when I was a kid and had some pretty extensive back surgery, which is why when I ran the marathon, I ran it for the home base program, which is the partnership between Mass General Hospital and the Boston Red Sox, because I had all of my surgeries when I was a kid at Mass General, and I am a huge believer in all of the amazing healthcare workers and physicians and specialists at Mass Gen, because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. Literally would not be here. And so the surgery that I had when I was a kid was pretty invasive on my spine. And after 4 tough rucks and all the years of skydiving and doing crazy things, my back started to really bother me about spring of 2017. And I have been in and out of physical therapy and have done a lot of different things trying to nurse my back because I got diagnosed with arthritis in my lower spine, and it bothers me from time to time. And you guys know I don't like to sit still. I'm really active, and it's something we talk about in the war room all the time is quality of life. And while yes, we should all be careful and financially careful, safety careful and conscious, we also should be living our lives to the fullest, because if COVID has taught us anything, it's that none of this is promised tomorrow, and that we should be doing everything we can to enjoy our lives today. And I try more and more all the time to do that, but I'm such a planner that it is not something that comes instinctively to me to be more spontaneous, which is one of the reasons that I married my husband, because he is more like that than I am. And I love the fact that he brings that out of me. So anyway, long story short, I've been having a lot of issues with my back, and especially with all of the extensive yard work I was doing during the lockdown, I've been having some issues. And so they put me on some new medication, and it seems to be really helping, but it's not a long-term fix. So I actually have an appointment with a specialist tomorrow to try and see, because the physical therapy is working, but it's not going to be more of a permanent fix that I was kind of hoping for. And so they actually want me to have an MRI, which I've never had, because I have metal in my leg that I had put in there when I was a kid. I don't know what kind of metal it is. So this week I actually had to send all of these forms to try and get copies of records from when I was a kid, to try and find out what kind of metal is in my leg, to find out if I'm going to be allowed to get an MRI or not. It's so involved and just insane. So I'm going to see a specialist. So anyway, long story short, I'm on this medication temporarily, and I am not allowed to drink while I am on it. So my sister, the in-house bartender, has made me a mocktail in the war room tonight. So tonight is a Temple Tuesday. So for anybody that doesn't drink during the war room every Tuesday night, has mocktails on your own, whatever it is, I am joining you sober tonight. Cheers to all of you, because it's a mocktails in the war room Temple Tuesday. And yes, this is a Shirley Temple with a crazy straw and a drink umbrella and multiple cherries. So, cheers. Ooh, it's delicious, actually. I think she made it with ginger beer, which gave it a whole other. That's delicious. And whenever I get drinks with cherries, I always ask for extra cherries because they're delicious. I don't know what they make these cherries out of, probably radioactive something, but they're so good that I love them. So to answer the comments that came in early in the show about how I was feeling, I'm feeling okay. But I am at the point where it's about quality of life for me, and I don't want to be medicated to feel good. And I would actually prefer not to be on any medication at all. So I'm trying to find another alternative, whether it be more physical therapy, chiropractic stuff, just whatever it is. If they tell me to lose 30 pounds, I'm going to lose 30 pounds. Whatever I have to do to, not feel the pain of the arthritis in my lower spine, and B, try to avoid surgery, which I really am trying to avoid any more surgery because, Auntie Ange says she's drinking for me. Thank you, Auntie Ange. You're always there. That's what family's for. So we'll see. Because I also, I don't want to be altered in any way. When you're a speed demon adrenaline freak like I am, enjoying the things that I do. I need to be clear of mind, and I need to be able to focus and really be able to concentrate on what it is that I'm doing. So I'm trying to be super healthy and super proactive, because it's not just about the lifestyle that I have right now. It's also about protecting an active lifestyle 10 years from now. I mean, remember when we were all kids, and it doesn't matter how old you are. When you're a teenager, when you're in your like early to mid 20s, you think 40 or 50 years old is so old. And you think, oh, I don't care. I'm not going to care when I'm older. And what's happening with me is injuries that I dealt with as a child, and the shoulder injury that I sustained in high school during sports, those injuries are starting to rear their ugly heads now as I've gotten older and more active. And now it's about protecting the really good, healthy years, because I still want to be able to enjoy myself and to be able to do all of the crazy things, like go on the world's fastest roller coasters and the world's longest zip line and all of the things that you guys know that I love to do. So if you didn't have to do meds or surgery, that's the best option, says Travis. Exactly. And so that's why I am going to see the specialist, and why I am trying everything else. So we'll see what happens, but the appointment is this week. And so I'll let you guys know what happens, but fingers crossed that we can find something else. And I'm hoping that I can get these ancient fucking carved in granite slab medical records from my childhood. And I'm hoping that the metal that they put in my leg is new enough that I can get an MRI, and not too old where I won't be able to get it. I've avoided getting MRIs because I don't know what kind of metal is in my leg. And now they're like, we would really like to do an MRI. We need to get our hands on those records. So Walter, get the medical weed. Joe, I've been to the chiropractor before because of like my shoulder and some other things. But now that this arthritis in my lower spine from where the surgery was when I was a kid, I really want to get up-to-date images. I really want to get a specialist to look at it. And if they suggest chiropractic or chiropractic adjustments or whatever, like, I'm all about it. Plus, obviously, you got to navigate the healthcare system as well. So, I'm just trying to follow the steps that the doctor is saying this is what they want me to do. And that's what I'm going to do. So acupuncture, Penny, I'm willing to try all of it, 100%. I just need to know what I'm dealing with. And because I'm going to see a new specialist, they're going to start at the bottom all over again and take new images. And they took x-rays recently, and they had noticed significant changes since the last set of images, which is why I'm going to see the specialist. So thank you, Joseph. I appreciate that. Medical records by law only have to be kept for 10 years. I believe that Mass Gen keeps them way longer than that, Alexis. I actually called the records department, and they said they do keep them that old, but I had to fill out specific forms because I don't know if my records are digitized. That's how old they are. So we'll see what happens. The other thing that I wanted to fill you guys in about before we really get into this week's show is the date of my husband's return from deployment has been set. The plane ticket has been purchased, and the countdown is on. I don't want to talk about exactly when it's going to be. Obviously, there's a lot of things going on. There was another rocket attack in the Emirates today. So I just don't want to get into anything specific, but I wanted to let you guys know that the official countdown is now on. And provided that nothing changes, I know exactly to the minute how long it's going to be before he steps foot on American soil again. And so I am super excited, and just really, after a long year and a half, starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I do want to tell you guys one thing, because you guys saw me when I did Cocktails in the War Room while I was visiting him. And so I got to spend a little bit of time where he stays in the apartment that he's been living in. And before I left, I think I've told you guys in the past that before every deployment that my husband goes on, I go to the card store and I buy cards for everything that he and I are going to miss together while he's gone. So birthdays, anniversaries, every holiday, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, Easter, 4th of July, Veterans Day, Memorial Day. I mean, you name it. I buy cards for that. And then I also get a card for the first of every month during the deployment. And then 2 out of the 3 deployments that he's been on since we have been together, I've been able to go and meet him someplace and visit. A few years ago, I got to visit him in Romania. This time around, I got to meet him in the Emirates. So what I do is I spend a lot of time sitting down and writing out all of these cards that he can open if he has a bad day, open if he misses me that day, open on the first of every month, open on your birthday. And usually I print out photos of us together. I know it's super schmoopy, but I print out photos and I put all of these cards in a giant like brick and he takes them with him. And so he's always opening a card for something. If you have a bad day, if you're mad at me, open this card. And I write them all out ahead of time. So when he left on this deployment, we originally thought the deployment was going to be a year, but that there was a chance it could get extended, which is what happened. So I wrote out cards just in case the extension happened as well. So before I left to go and visit him a few weeks ago, I found these things at the bookstore and I thought they were really cute and super schmoopy. And so I bought them. It was a little box of these little cards that you peel open and there's a message inside of every card. And every card that you peeled open had a different quote from famous literature about love. And so I thought, oh, that would be really cute. Like he'll be like, ugh, but whatever, I'm going to get them. So I got them and I brought them with me. And because we weren't going to be together for Valentine's Day again, he already had his Valentine's Day card because I had written it out for him in the brick of cards. So I took these 30 little, they're like 1.5 by 1.5 little squares that you pull open, like pull tabs at a VFW, right? And I hid them all over his apartment. I mean, literally everywhere. I hid them where he stores his extra toilet paper. I hid them around his computer in his little kitchen area. I hid them all over his bedroom. I hid them in his bags and his pockets of pants and outfits that were hanging up in his wardrobe. I hid them everywhere. And then I gave him the empty box before I left. And I was like, okay, these are all hidden in your apartment. You have to find them all before you come home. So he has been finding them and is fully annoyed and obviously is, he's like, this is way too schmoopy or whatever. But I just wanted him to know that I was thinking about him. And it's been a really long deployment. And so doing anything that I could to just try and remind him, that I'm thinking about him even when we're not talking or whatever. So he's thoroughly annoyed with these cards because they're literally, he keeps finding them everywhere, like rolled up in pairs of socks, like in his underwear, just literally in his books, like they're everywhere. So, we've been together for a while, but we spend a lot of time apart. And so if you're going to have a successful relationship, you have to put forth this extra effort. And so those are the kinds of things that I do. And so, sorry, babe, if you're happen to be joining us here in the war room incognito, like he definitely has found these cards all over the place. Let's see. Imagine the person who finds the ones the jarhead doesn't find. Exactly. They're just little things. And, and the things that he does, which he has always done is, have you ever traveled anywhere and you're like, who the hell buys postcards anymore? My husband. And I get postcards from the craziest places that he will just go, and everywhere he goes, he just buys a postcard and then he just keeps them in a box. And then he sends me random postcards from around the world in places I know he's not at, and just sends me postcards. And I have every single one he's ever sent me. And the drawer that I keep them in is starting after all these years to get a little full. So I'm going to need to get more creative on where I'm going to keep all of this stuff. But they're just a couple of the stupid little corny things that we do. And so now that the countdown is on, the last card that he has to open is a card that is for him to open on the flight home. And so I'm it's Valentine's Day coming up, obviously. And unless he opened the card that he's supposed to open when he's mad at me, which I don't know if he opened, then his last card will be for the flight home. So we know what the date is. We're counting it down. And I just wanted to let you guys know that there is a date. The end is near. And I'm really, really, really excited. So, yay. Okay. Photo albums. Donna, that's a really good idea, actually, photo albums for the postcards. I think I want to get like a really beautiful, like decorative box to keep them all in, like something that you could keep out somewhere, that like a hand carved kind of really beautiful box. But I haven't found the right thing yet. I will tell you guys this. You guys saw the pictures on Facebook of the photos that I took while I was over there, and all of the pictures I took from the rug store. So I don't know if he got it yet, but while we were at the rug store, he obviously was asking me about rugs that I liked, and if I had a rug for the house, where I would want to put it. And I don't know if he's going to get it, but I think he might get one of the rugs that I really, really liked at the rugs place. So we'll see. Let's see. Yeah, we did. Walter, get the box. After finding all the little cards, he'll be mad at it. Yeah. He may end up mad at you if he gets an awkward paper cut finding a note. I mean, what can I say? Walter, get the Foot Locker, says Brito. Exactly. Personally, I like the camel pic, says Brian. Those were a fave. I think I got more likes on the camel toe pic than I think anything else from my entire vacation. Christine, I agree. The rugs were beautiful. And there are so many amazing ones. And I was like, oh my God, I love that one. But then you have to think like, okay, well, I know where I live and I know what it looks like. So what's going to look good where I live and in the rooms that I have. And so I don't know. We'll see. There's a lot of haggling over there, which I don't enjoy. Some people really like to go to like flea markets and stuff and like haggle and bargain. I don't enjoy that process at all, which is probably why I'm not like in sales. I mean, I guess I'm in sales because of my own company and selling advertising for the podcast and stuff. But I think there's a certain, I'm the kind of person that's like, just tell me what it is and I'll decide if I want to buy it or not. But the haggling back and forth, it makes me uncomfortable. And so I'm going to let him deal with that because that's part of the culture there is that you haggle for everything. So now I want to go and pet the camels. No skull rugs. I do not have that's a lie. I have a skull rug. Sorry. It's downstairs. They did not have skull rugs at the rug place. These were like silk rugs and like hand woven and just rugs that would cost tens of thousands of dollars here. But over there, they're still expensive, but they're not as expensive. And I would love the idea of having a rug from there in the house because you pay a lot of money for them, but they last forever. And they're so intricate and so beautiful. So I'll let you guys know. Yeah, I think it's a New England thing, a dislike of haggling, Michael says. Yeah, I don't enjoy it. I think it's just one of those things where it's like, look, just tell me what it is that you want for it, and I'll tell you if I'm willing to pay that. And if I'm not, then I won't buy it. And if I am, then I'll buy it. Like, I just don't want to back and forth. I don't enjoy it. Mark says, personally, I prefer no carpet. Oh, man. All right. So I got a lot of stuff I want to talk to you guys about. I'm very excited about this week's podcast episode. Shirley Temple is delicious. I'm going to be on a sugar high, not an alcohol high. All right, let's talk about last week's podcast episode, the 3:00 in the morning special with Jonathan Davis from Korn, episode 87 of the Mistress Carrie podcast, sponsored once again by Digital Federal Credit Union, who you can find at dcu.org. And by the way, if you they're doing a thing right now for members where they can refinance your car loan. So if you are looking to refinance your car loan, try and save some money, go to dcu.org and you can do that. Let's see. What did you guys, Jonathan says the Jonathan Davis episode was cool. Shannon said that it was awesome. Elsa said it was amazing. Great episode, said Alexis. Loved it, says Ash. I just was taken, and I think I told you guys this last week, at just how happy and at peace and kind of settled and content that Jonathan is with his life. And he's been through a lot. He, had a lot of crazy things in his upbringing. We didn't really talk about it in the episode, but his estranged wife, ex-wife, passed away. The mother of his children passed away. And so obviously he's a single dad now. And with everything going on with COVID, getting sick with COVID himself, the pressures of the band and Fieldy taking leave from the band for a while, he's got a lot going on. And he just seems like he's handling it really well and that he is in a really good, place. And I think that we all have had our own battles with mental health, sadness. We've had loved ones, family members that have struggled with their mental health over the last couple of years with everything going on. And, it's a conscious decision to be positive every day and to look at the challenges that the world is presenting to us and try to find a positive way around it. And it's not easy a lot of the time. This is episode 170 of The War Room. How many times have we talked about stuff like this? And so to hear Jonathan Davis be positive like that, it just made me happy. And he's got such a great laugh and a great smile, and it's contagious. And when you talk to him and he's happy like that, it's awesome. So I loved this episode. If you haven't heard it yet, episode 87 of the Mistress Carrie podcast, it is up and available right now. But I am super stoked about episode 88. If you got a Mistress Carrie backstage pass, you already know. But episode 88 features Slash from Guns N' Roses. Woo-hoo! It's a great episode as well. Again, like the Jonathan Davis episode, I didn't have all the time in the world to talk to him. Both Korn and Slash had new records out, tours getting ready to kick off. They're super, super busy. So the fact that Slash was generous enough with his time, that's a picture from when he and I sat together years ago. But I love the picture. And so the fact that we got to sit down and catch up, and you can hear at the beginning of the episode, he's like, "Hey, Carrie, how are you?" Like, it's so nice to be able to do, even though I can't do the interviews in person, to be able to see the people most of the time makes it a little bit more personal. So I'm super stoked about episode 88. Slash's new album featuring Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators comes out this Friday. It's called 4. And also on Friday, there's a live stream that the band is doing as well. Details on the live stream are up on the events calendar at mistresscarrie.com. The record is coming out on Friday. Guns N' Roses has their new EP called Hard School that's coming out on the 25th. So Slash is busy. He's got a lot going on. And he, again, is a guy that just seems, we talked about everything. We talked about his Funko Pop. We talked about jigsaw puzzles and how he does like Legos. And, we talked about his songwriting process, his guitar tone, talked about a lot of stuff. So I'm super excited. He spent a lot of time talking about the new record because they were able to record it live, meaning that the guys all got in the studio together and just mic'd up their amps. And then Miles was in a booth right next door so they could all perform live as opposed to tracking each individual instrument separately, which doesn't kind of give you that rock and roll vibe that you're looking for a lot of the time. And Slash name drops a band that he loves. That's a newer band, one of his favorite bands out right now. And the fact that they chose the producer they did for this album is a direct reflection of this band that he talks about. And I don't want to give too much away, but it's a band that I love as well. And oh my God, the Mandoki thing is back. What the hell? All right, you guys are going to have to drink for me because I just tried to drink my Shirley Temple through the top of a paper umbrella. I don't know why that thing keeps coming up on the show. It's so weird. Leslie Mandoki is haunting the war room. Mark, I totally agree. The making of the album, they did a YouTube series and it's great. It's exactly the kind of stuff that Slash and I talked about on the podcast. Just about recording it in a different way. And it's something Slash has always wanted to do. And you would think that at this point in his career, Slash could just say, this is how I want to fucking do something. This is how I'm going to do it. But it's about being able to get the right producer, about being able to get the right studio at the right time. There's a lot of things that go into it. And everything lined up perfectly for this record. So I'm super stoked for you to hear it. Episode 88 of the Mistress Carrie podcast. Once again, sponsored by Digital Federal Credit Union at dcu.org. And the episode goes live at midnight tonight. New full-length episodes come out every Wednesday. And if you subscribe and follow the Mistress Carrie podcast, you're also going to get the sit reps that come out every weekday. And it's everything that's going on in music, entertainment, all of that. But it's 5 minutes long and you get it every weekday and it uploads super early in the morning so that it's there when you're having your coffee in the morning. It's there when you're shaving. You can listen to it in your 5-minute shower. If you work from home and you just run out to get a coffee and back again, you can listen to the sit rep just doing that. You could probably listen to it 3 times while you're sitting in the drive-thru at Starbucks because depending on how long the line is in the morning. Yeah, I know, Joe. Mandoki strikes again. So the sit rep is there to kind of get you filled in on everything that's going on. And it doesn't take that much time at all. So you get those every weekday as well. And there's a ton of places that you can listen to the Mistress Carrie podcast. I will tell you that there's a lot of people checking it out on the iHeartRadio app, which is really cool. And that number seems to be growing. So if you've already downloaded the iHeartRadio app, it's on the Odyssey app as well. You can listen to it, on Stitcher, Deezer, Overcast, TuneIn, Player FM, Podbean, Castbox. There's so many. Mozilla. There's a lot of people that are listening on Mozilla now. Pocket Cast, Radio Public, on Amazon. Google Play has it. Apple, Spotify, Pandora, all of the places that you would go looking for a podcast. It's available everywhere. So if you don't use any of those, you can listen at mistresscarrie.com and you can also just click play on the players that automatically upload on the Facebook page that you're watching this show on right now. So once again, we are holding strong at 130 countries that are listening to the Mistress Carrie podcast, and Canada is still holding on at number 2 for countries listening to the podcast the most after the United States, obviously. All right, we got a lot of headlines to get through and a bunch of stuff I want to talk to you guys about. Want to remind you that Beth Hart's new album is coming out on the 25th. She released Black Dog, the first single. It's a Led Zeppelin covers record. She's going out on tour. She's going to be at the Wilbur on March 9th. And if you haven't heard her version of Black Dog, it is stupendous. So you can check that out online right now. Dream Theater is going to be at the Wang on February 25th. Alice Cooper is headed to Foxwoods on March 18th. We have also got Tool at the Garden next Saturday, February 19th. Korn with Chevelle, Code Orange are at the Dunkin' Donuts Center on March 16th and at the SNHU Arena on March 19th. Tickets for both of those are on sale. If you have a Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass, you have access to tickets for those shows. Judas Priest is going to be at Mohegan on the 2nd of April and the 4th of April at the Songus. And I will tell you that Judas Priest is not leading the fan vote for induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. There's 17 nominees. They've opened up the fan voting. Judas Priest is, I think, in the top 10, but not in the top 5. And Rob Halford is saying, the metal community needs to band together. Rage Against the Machine nominated as well. But we got to get Judas Priest in there. So if you haven't voted, you could go to rockhall.com, and the fan voting is open right now. Rob Halford also said that he would love a once-in-a-lifetime collaboration with fellow nominee Dolly Parton if they both get in at the induction ceremony this fall, which would be hilarious. Who wears more rhinestones? Seriously, at the end of the day. More studs, more sparkle. Dolly Parton or Rob Halford? That's a toss-up. The Foo Fighters movie is coming out on the 25th. It's called Studio 666 and will be in theaters nationwide. There is a Cliff Burton live stream coming up on Thursday to commemorate his 60th birthday. It's going to feature a ton of metal musicians paying tribute to what would have been his 60th birthday. And the family is also releasing some limited edition Cliff Burton merchandise as well. I added that to the events calendar at mistresscarrie.com to make it easier for you to find. Lots of new music. We knew this was going to be a big year in new albums. The new Shinedown Planet Zero is coming out on April 23rd. Unlimited Love from the Red Hot Chili Peppers is coming out on April 1st. The new Hailstorm is called Back from the Dead. The album is out on March 6th. Corey Taylor announced that he has a new album coming out called CMFT2. It's got acoustic tracks on it and a bunch of covers. The first single is supposed to come out on Friday, and it's his cover of The Dark Side, or On the Dark Side, which John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band, he said it's one of the favorite songs that the CMFT band likes to play live, and so that's going to be the first single, and it comes out on Friday. I cannot wait to hear it. Super Bowl weekend is coming up. There's the music festival in LA featuring Green Day, Halsey, Machine Gun Kelly, and Miley Cyrus, who are headlining the Crypto.com arena this weekend. And also the Foo Fighters announced that they are doing a live concert live stream that is going to begin as soon as the game is over. They're going to stream it live on their Instagram and Facebook, and they're also doing it on the Meta virtual reality thing that they have as well. So if you're a Foo Fighters fan, you can watch their live concert live stream right after the game on Sunday. Speaking of Corey Taylor, don't forget the Knotfest Roadshow is going to be at the Dunkin' Donuts Center on May 21st and May 22nd at the SNHU Arena in Manchester. And tickets for both of those shows are already on sale. Volbeat and Ghost are going to be at the DCU Center this Friday. And if you have a Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass and you want to go to the show, I have some more tickets available if you want to go. So just hit me up on Patreon if you have a Backstage Pass. And if you don't, it's not too late. You can get a Backstage Pass on Patreon, get yourself signed up. And I'm always trying to give access to tickets to people with Mistress Carrie Backstage Passes. A reminder, next month, St. Patrick's Day. Already. I know, it's crazy. Dropkicks are going to be at the House of Blues the 17th, 18th, and 19th, and the new club called Roadrunner in Brighton on the 20th. Royal Blood's going to be at the House of Blues coming up in May on the 24th. Backstage pass holders, I have tickets for that show as well. This got announced this week. Ringo Starr and his all-star band are going out on the road for the first time in 3 years. And I'm not kidding. His band is unbelievable. Steve Lukather is in the band. Like Greg Bissonette is in the band. The lineup of the musicians that are touring with Ringo Starr is amazing. He's got 4 shows in New England. He's got a show in Boston. He's got a show in Worcester. There's a show up in Guilford, New Hampshire, and also a show in Providence, Rhode Island. They are all happening in June, and they are all on the events calendar at mistresscarrie.com. Let's see. The Papa Roach Kill the Noise tour is coming to Mohegan on March 24th. That tour kicks off in just a few weeks, but tickets for that show are on sale right now. Mammoth WVH and Dirty Honey, that show got moved from the end of January, rescheduled to the 26th of March, and that's going to be at Big Night Live. And Jerry Cantrell at Big Night Live, that show is April 9th, and then Turnstile, one of the newer bands that you were able to get to know on the Mistress Carrie podcast. They're going to be at the Palladium on May 21st. Just want to put a plug in for the big gig because it's coming up. End of April, it's happening. Godsmack, 3 Days Grace, Black Veil Brides, Wage War, and Lilith Czar are all going to be playing. And I just want to send a little love out to Andy Bierzak from Black Veil Brides and Lilith Czar because Andy has been a lifelong Bengals fan. He hosts a Bengals radio show in Cincinnati when he is not on the road, and he has been putting up these amazing videos. He wrote an article for Spin Magazine about his love of the Bengals, and we all know what it's like to be fans of a team that doesn't win and then comes close and then doesn't win. And then your team finally gets another chance at the big game, and how excited we were when that first Pats Super Bowl happened. And so this weekend, I'm just hoping that diehard, lifelong Bengals fan, Andy Bierzak and Lilith Czar, are going to see their team play really well and hopefully win. So it would be really nice to be able to talk about that at the big gig coming up at the end of April. Want to put a plug in as well for some of the Mistress Carrie deals that are still going on. The Tomes deal is still active. Sign up for the week-long free trial. Email them. It's in the blog. And tell them you want the Mistress Carrie deal, and they'll up your free trial to a month. And you can also still get 20% off of everything from Spartan Brews Coffee. And the discount code you need is in the blog at mistresscarrie.com. Mail call. Nothing came in the mail this week. So I'm expecting some cool stuff. There's some artists that are supposed to send me some things that I can't wait to show you guys, but I don't have them yet. So we'll find out next week. New exciting things, though, for the website. Super excited. So first of all, Mistress Carrie merchandise, not all of it, but a lot of it is available at Joe's Albums in Worcester and in Northampton. So I want to say what's up to Joe and everybody at Joe's Albums. And a couple of new things have hit the online store. So up here, you will see a picture of, that's a MacBook. And what I ordered was the vinyl transfer sticker. See the white Mistress Carrie logo? That is the die-cut white vinyl sticker that when I started making bumper stickers, people asked me for the vinyl transfer stickers, and I hadn't had them made yet. Well, I ordered them. They came in, and they're in. And so the vinyl transfer sticker has been added to the Mistress Carrie sticker pack. So that's where you can find them. I wasn't sure if I should just put them up in the store separately, so I threw them in the sticker pack. You guys let me know. If you'd rather just buy them separate, let me know. And also, the Mistress Carrie pins have arrived. So after going to see the Bruce Dickinson spoken word tour over the weekend at the Schubert, which was great, by the way, I am loving that jean jackets, vests with all the patches are all coming back. The Mistress Carrie patches have been in the store for a while, but I wanted a pin. And so I made the pins. They're the acrylic pins, and they're die cut, and they look like the bumper stickers and the Mistress Carrie logo with the flames. But it's a white background acrylic pin with a black and purple Mistress Carrie flame logo, and they are up on the website now. So I was talking to T-shirt Brian today about tank tops, and we were talking about different color options and also what sizes of tank tops have been hard to find. So I'm working on that right now. So that is happening. And also am waiting on the mock-up and the prototype for the fitted baseball hats, which are also being worked on as well. So those are going to hit the store, and I would expect probably in the next 6 weeks. So they're definitely coming. And there's more stuff on the way. So moving right along. I know it's been slow adding stuff to the store, but supply issues and all of that kind of stuff has just made things difficult, but we're rolling. So the vinyl transfer stickers and the pins are available in the store now, which I'm super stoked about. So progress. If you're celebrating your birthday today, you share it with Vince Neil from Motley Crue, you share it with Phoenix from Linkin Park, and you share it with the one and only John Williams, who turns 90 today. El Maestro, who has given us so many recognizable movie themes. Jaws, Star Wars. I mean, you'd have to Google. Somebody do me a favor. Google all of the famous movie songs that John Williams has done. It's insane. I think Indiana Jones was John Williams. There's just so many of them. And he's 90 today. And happy unbirthday to Keith. So if today's your birthday, cheers to you. You should not add pants to the store, says Keith. I get 2 size 8, one black, one purple, and the patches sewn on. They are cool. I am working on hats, Travis, but baseball hats, man, You need a big hat. Although Travis did just get himself a black beanie and put a picture of it up on Twitter, and you look fabulous, Travis. And that hat is warm as fuck, just so you know. The beanies are warm as hell. Brett says, what's up with the beef between Eddie Vedder and Nikki Sixx? So I've been following this closely because drama. So here's what happened. Eddie Vedder did an interview, and he was talking about eras of rock and roll. And Eddie Vedder, first of all, he's a girl dad, right? And he's a feminist. There was a lot of the 90s grunge and alternative movement that was about empowering women, because in a lot of ways, the 80s, the whole stripper, girls, groupie kind of aesthetic that came along with especially the later years of the 80s wasn't exactly kind to women in a lot of ways. And I was smack dab in the middle of it. The spandex pants, the half shirts. It was all very sexualized, and it was a lot of fun. But it wasn't like in the 70s, it was more about like empowering women and like the sexual revolution. But the 80s were, it was a lot more superficial, I think. And so Eddie Vedder, that's what he was talking about. And he was talking about how he didn't like the way that the 80s and a lot of that stuff made men look, just that they were, chauvinistic kind of idiots or whatever. And he didn't like the way that it made the women look. And he went on to talk about how he loved that in the 90s that girls were wearing sundresses and combat boots, and that it wasn't just all about them being voluptuous and big boobs. Let's be honest. The 90s weren't, victimless either, because the heroin chic thing went through in the 90s, which was incredibly troublesome for women and body image and all of that stuff. But that's how Eddie Vedder was talking about it. And he was citing examples and was talking about like Motley Crue girls, and he called it vacuous. Well, Nikki Sixx did not take kindly to his band being criticized, even though I don't think Eddie Vedder was necessarily going after Motley Crue specifically. It was more of like what I was talking about. Well, Nikki Sixx came out and said that Pearl Jam is one of the most boring bands in the world, that Eddie Vedder's singing style was like singing with marbles in your mouth. And then Pearl Jam tweeted out video of a massive festival crowd at a Pearl Jam show, like bouncing up and down and singing. And the tweet and the Instagram post said, "We love our boring fans," which obviously was a jab right back at Nikki Sixx. And then over the weekend, Eddie Vedder was playing with his band, the Earthlings, and Chad Smith from the Red Hot Chili Peppers is the drummer of the Earthlings. It's nice when you have a little side project away from your regular Pearl Jam job, and you're like, "Hey, Chad Smith from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, do you just want to be my drummer on this little thing I do on the side?" And Chad's like, "Yeah, I just finished the Red Hot Chili Peppers album, and we're not touring worldwide stadiums until the summer. Sure, let's do it." Must be nice. So Eddie Vedder made some crack on stage about how Chad Smith didn't need his drum set to like come up off the riser and spin around and whatever. They're dick measuring. Okay. You guys are just dick measuring. You're both no. Pearl Jam's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Motley Crue's not. Motley Crue says that they have been blackballed from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and they didn't get nominated this year. So I don't know if they could be right, but they've both sold. I wonder who sold more records. And Pearl Jam has more albums. I wonder who sold more albums. But look, they're both hugely successful. They're both legendary rock bands in their own right. It's like, do we have to measure each other's dicks, guys? Whatever. It is what it is. So that's what's going on with the Eddie Vedder, Nikki Sixx kind of drama. Yeah, the silly side projects, Brianna. Exactly. It's like, oh, it is dick measuring. That's what it is. It's like, really? Come on. The guys from Motley Crue, they read the dirt. They were not victimless. There was a lot of crazy shit that happened in the 80s. None of those guys should even be alive. Nikki Sixx legitimately died and came back to life. So it's just a lot of old rich guys bitching it about each other. It's like, whatever. Mark Bishop is right, though. If it's a dick measuring contest, Tommy Lee wins. I watched the first 3 episodes of Pam and Tommy, by the way, on Hulu. There's full frontal. Tommy Lee's penis talks to him on the Hulu series. I'm just warning you, trigger warning, just in case you're not prepared to see Tommy Lee have a conversation with a full frontal penis. And it's taken right out of his book. If you haven't read Tommy Lee's book, I think it's called Welcome to Tommyland. The book is hilarious. Every chapter, Tommy Lee tells the story in one font. The other person involved in the story tells the story, their version of the story in another font. And then the third font in every chapter is Tommy Lee's penis and his penis's perspective on that story. And they pulled dialogue right out of there because Tommy Lee wrote about the weekend that he met Pam Anderson and married Pam Anderson because it happened within 4 days of each other. And what his penis thought about meeting Pam Anderson. So it's, if you haven't seen it yet, it's really interesting. And I will tell you that only 3 episodes in, the theft of the movie, the home movie, the infamous sex tape, and how they got it produced, I had no idea there was so much that went into it. So if you haven't seen it yet, you should definitely check it out. There's 8 episodes altogether. I think a new episode comes out tomorrow, but the first 3 episodes are on Hulu if you haven't seen it yet. Ryan, I don't think that matters about buying out the catalog. Because a lot of artists, Alice in Chains just sold, Mike Starr and Lane Staley's estates just sold their stock in the Alice in Chains music catalog. I don't think that has anything to do with it. I think it's more of all of the shit they've talked over the years and obviously all the famous issues that the band has had over the years. So Christina says Seth Rogen is amazing. He really is. The penis probably had the most interesting perspective. Brianna, I think you are absolutely right. So, yeah, it's kind of hilarious. So I watched that if you haven't watched it yet. And just want to put in a plug. I talk a lot about the Mistress Carrie backstage passes. If you don't have one, you can get it right on Patreon. I still have Volbeat and Ghost tickets for Friday, but there's also Royal Blood, Knotfest, and Korn tickets, and I believe Sammy Hagar tickets that I still have up for grabs if you have a Mistress Carrie backstage pass, and you can get them at patreon.com, and you can just click the link at mistresscarrie.com. So it's all right there for you. You get early access to event tickets when we have them. You can submit podcast interview questions. We do a live stream once a month where just the backstage pass holders get together. And so, yeah, travel blog updates, all of that stuff. And just as a reminder, all the places you can find me online. Super easy. All the links are on my website as well. You can't hide from me. I'm literally everywhere. So this Shirley Temple's really good. I'm just saying. Imagine walking into that audition. Yeah, I'm here to read for the monster doing the part. Yeah. Like, I'm just here to do the voiceover for Tommy Lee's penis, which, by the way, as someone that does recording and voice work, that would be like a dream job. Not that they would use my voice for Tommy Lee's penis, but I would love to have that on my resume. Like, oh, I've done this commercial and this and that and whatever. And by the way, I was also the voice of Tommy Lee's penis on a Hulu series, because the penis, I believe, arrives in episode 2, if I'm not mistaken. That's why I'm trying to prepare you, so that, because there were a lot of people on the internet that were like, whoa, the penis, like, on the show, Tommy Lee wears a lot of thongs, like the ones he was playing the drums in. I guess he wears that at home a lot, like the banana hammock kind of things, which if you had a banana like that, you'd want to put it in a hammock, I guess. But then the actual, and from what I've been told, it is not the actor's penis. That it's obviously a robotic prosthetic because it talks. I don't think Sebastian Stan's penis has a conversation with him on the reg, but maybe he does. I don't know. I don't have one. I don't know what kind of tricks it can do. I have some experience in the general area, but I don't know everything about them. So Walter, get the stunt penis. Literally, Walter, get the pipe. I mean, seriously. It's kind of hilarious. So, yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, it's kind of funny. So that's it this week, guys. I'm super stoked for Slash to be on the podcast. There's some great episodes coming up in the next few weeks. I just confirmed a couple interviews today that I'm really excited about. So lots of great stuff going on. Obviously, I guess next week we'll celebrate Valentine's Day a day late. So Super Bowl Sunday, and then the day after is Valentine's Day. So you've been warned. I don't know about you guys. I'm cheering for the Bengals. Did you guys see the send-off, like rallies that they had for the Bengals and the Rams? Like 30,000 people showed up to send the Bengals off to the Super Bowl, and literally less than, I think, 2,000 people showed up for the Rams. Really? Even when the Pats had won 5, like 30,000 people showed up at Gillette Stadium for the send-off party, because I was there in the middle of January in the stadium. It was a blast. Dunkin' Donuts was giving out coffee. There was a stage. Fitzy was hosting the thing. Team was up there. Coaches were there. So I think I'm rooting for the Bengals. I'm not confident that they're going to win the game, but I'm going to root for them, and I hope they do well. I'm watching for the commercials. I'm interested in the halftime show. Dr. Dre actually added a couple sign language rappers to the halftime show, which is the first time that's ever happened. So that ought to be pretty interesting too. So I want to see it. I want to watch it. Eminem, by the way, not only performing at the halftime show, but he is also up for induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as well. So Eric says, I'm going for the Rams. Oh, Betty says granddaughter is missing Wednesday. She was here earlier. Let's see. Halftime show should be cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm not as invested, right? Like when the Pats were in the big game, I would like be screaming at the television. Like one year, I'm trying to remember which one it was. I think it was the Seattle year. The Butler did it year. I was at home with a bunch of friends, and every time I got up and went into the kitchen, the Patriots scored. So by the end of the game, I wasn't allowed near the television. Like the Malcolm Butler interception happened when I was in the kitchen because everyone in the room had exiled me to the kitchen, and then they had to rewind it on the DVR so that I could see it, because until the Pats won, they just kept telling me to go into the fucking kitchen because every time I went into the kitchen, the Pats scored. So I'm very intense when it comes to watching those games, high intensity, stressful games. So when the Pats aren't in it, I can just goof off. And all my friends are Patriots fans, so we're just going to be able to kind of enjoy the game and eat buffalo chicken dip and watch the commercials and laugh, which is going to be interesting. So before we get out of here, I wanted to show you guys my shirt if you didn't see it already. So the other thing that's happening right now is the Olympics are going on, and obviously I'm cheering for Team USA always, but for the first time in 30 years, the 4-man bobsled team from Jamaica qualified for the Olympics. And when I went to Jamaica years ago, they actually had a Jamaican bobsled team store, and one of the members of the original team was there. I can't read his name because the signature is, but I bought, and the shirts that they sell funded the bobsled team, which I wanted to support. So I bought a Jamaican bobsled team t-shirt. I dug it out today because I wanted to show my support for the Jamaican bobsled team. And I hope they win the silver behind the Americans. So good luck to the Jamaicans, and go Team USA. I know there's a lot of controversy when it comes to these games and being in China, and there's a lot going on. But the athletes have literally trained their whole lives for this. And I just hope that our athletes do well and represent our country well. So go Team USA and go Jamaican bobsled team, because I just always want to cheer for the underdog. And there's nobody that's more of an underdog than a Jamaican bobsled team in the Winter Olympics. So cool runnings. All right, guys. Carrie Boob says Keith. John Candy, R.I.P. says Mark. I know. I love that movie. Sanka, you dead? Exactly. All right, guys, episode 88 of the podcast goes live at midnight featuring Slash. Happy Temple Tuesday. Fantastic, Shirley Temple. Hopefully it will not be mocktails in the war room next week, but I will let you know. Super Bowl Sunday. Happy Valentine's Day, and I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Good night.